Why is it that some people can receive messages from the spirit world more clearly than others? Why are some messages higher, deeper, or truer than others? In this message, St. John explains in simple terms the laws that govern communication between spirits and mortals. This message was received by James Padgett through automatic writing. Automatic writing, also known as psychography, is a process where an individual writes words, sentences, or messages without consciously controlling the writing. The person's hand moves automatically, often while their conscious mind is occupied elsewhere or in a meditative or trance-like state. In this message, St. John explains why spirit communication isn't the same for everyone, and why the condition of both the spirit and the mortal matters. Let's hear it now in St. John's own words, simplified for our understanding. I am here, St. John. Tonight I want to talk about something important: how spirits and mortals are able to communicate with one another. At first it might seem simple. If a spirit takes control of your brain, then surely it could write or say anything it wants, regardless of what you know. But this is not how it works. Communication between spirits and mortals follows laws. One of these laws is this: a higher thought cannot be passed through a brain that is not ready to receive it. For example, if a person has never studied geometry, that person's brain cannot suddenly solve a problem in geometry. In the same way, if a brain has never been prepared to receive certain kinds of knowledge, a spirit cannot use it to express that knowledge. Now, your mind and your brain are not the same thing. The mind holds the knowledge and the ideas, while the brain is the tool used to express them. Sometimes the mind knows something long before the brain is able to put it into words or action. When a spirit uses a mortal's brain, it is similar. A spirit can often take control of the brain and use it to speak or write things the mortal has never learned. That is why at times mediums have been able to write in languages or express truths they never studied. But even then, the brain still has its limits. The more experience and development a mortal's brain has, the more clearly and fully a spirit can use it. This is true not only for intellectual truths, but also for spiritual and moral truths. If the mortal's brain and soul are not developed to a certain point, then higher truths simply cannot come through. This is why some mediums can only bring through simple or material messages, while others, though fewer, are able to receive higher spiritual teachings. The harmony or rapport between spirit and mortal depends on the condition of the mortal, on their moral state, their spiritual growth, and even their openness. Sometimes people doubt the messages because the same spirit will give one kind of teaching through one medium and something different through another. But this does not mean the spirit has changed. It means the mediums were at different levels of development and could not all receive the same depth of truth. This is also why you will not find many messages of the kind we are giving through you. There are very few mortals who are prepared enough in mind and soul to receive them. The history of mediumship shows this clearly. For example, Swedenborg came close, but his own limitations, his attachment to orthodox beliefs, and his scientific mindset prevented him from being a clear channel for the highest truths. Other mediums have been used, but again, they could only receive what their own conditions allowed. Even you yourself have experienced this law. At times, although spirits were ready to give you higher truths, you were not in the right condition, and so the messages could not come through until you were better prepared. So you see, the great truths of the spirit world come through only when there is harmony between the spirit and the mortal, and more often it depends on the mortal's development. If the medium is ready, the spirits are always near and willing to communicate. And now I say to you, the Master himself is here tonight. He has heard what I have written and joins me in saying, have faith and seek with all your soul for this divine love. Believe that I am your special angel friend, your brother in Christ, John. This was St. John's teaching on how spirits communicate with mortals. It shows us that spiritual growth and inner development are the keys to receiving higher truths. In the next message, we will continue unfolding these lessons. Stay with us as we explore more of these profound revelations. Stay tuned as we explore in the next message why Jesus himself chose Padgett to be the one through whom new spiritual truths would reach the world. You'll hear in Jesus' own words how the laws of rapport and soul development determine this choice, and what it reveals about how any of us can open to higher guidance. Don't miss this next profound chapter in the story.